Hey there. Let's talk about some vintage Star Wars. Kenner, Hasbro, and more. Hey there everybody, thank you for visiting addshot. If this is your first time or you are returning, we appreciate you viewing. All video and music made from scratch. Alright, well look at this spread we have before us. This is an amazing set here. This is some vintage Star Wars, and we're going to look closely at Kenner products, the history behind it. We will first start with the Millennium Falcon, but let's go into a little bit of the history behind Kenner. Kenner was founded in 1946 by three brothers. Eventually they ended up selling the company to General Mills in 1967. General Mills took over and merged with other product lines, and Parker Brothers created the new Kenner Parker Toys Incorporated. Well, Kenner Parker was then acquired by Tonka in 1987. Under Tonka management, Kenner Products was reconstituted as a division. Tonka, including Kenner, was purchased by the toy company Hasbro in mid-1991. Hasbro shut it all down for the Cincinnati offices for Kenner in 2000. Kenner's product lines were merged into Hasbro. And here we have the Millennium Falcon. This thing is a beauty. If I was to give you a little bit more information on Kenner, I would have to tell you that from 1978 to 1985, Kenner sold over 300 million Star Wars related toys. This was not just some phenomenon, this was beyond that. This was the beginning of everything. A saga in our lives, in our kids' lives. This is generational now. And here we have the Millennium Falcon also. This was one of the most sought after toys because this ship that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs was a ship featured in all three of the original movies. The stickers in this are so awesome. You're just looking at artwork transported onto sticker paper. And no doubt this was extremely fun for the adults to put together. Anyway, Kenner's product line and the Millennium Falcon sparked the entire craze for the 3.75-inch line of action figures that are still dominating the market today. When I go into Target or I try and find any Star Wars action figure, I am lucky to grab one that's up there. And although I'm not sure if I can compare quality between the years, but the new ones are not necessarily as good as some of the older ones, in my opinion. So the detailing on this Millennium Falcon is awesome. I mean, the moldings they use to create these are fantastic. Some of the plastic pieces are made with different polymers, you can tell, because there is no fading on certain molded pieces, but definitely the overall ship very likely to get yellow over time. It would be a hard find to find this ship in perfect condition, but they are available out there. And here you can see this is CPG Products, 1979, Kenner Products Division, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. So at this time, CPG Products Corporation was a subsidiary of General Mills. It was just part of the monster at that time. So the Millennium Falcon was just the most amazing ship. Everyone had it. I remember that. Let's move on and just see what else we have in this amazing collection. Here is the Y-Wing fighter vehicle. This thing is sweet. This was featured in a set Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and it didn't come with any action figures. Most of these Kenner lines did not come with action figures. They were all sold separately, as well as batteries not included. The Millennium Falcon as well as the Y-Wing, they take batteries. They had sound effects and all sorts of really cool things that you could do. Here I'm going to try and open the cockpit shield here. This is amazing. There are still some original stickers inside. As we take a look, you know, depending who put the model together, we'll have, you know, varying degrees of sticker skills. As you can see, I think just the side panels are switched. That's probably all, but pretty impressive to still be on there this many years down the road. As I look on the underside, there's a landing gear, and I was trying to get the landing mechanism to work. I kind of remember having this. Now, I didn't mention that this whole collection was given to me recently. Some of these I acquired in the past, but none of them were from my original collection. a lot of my original toys were given away when I was younger, which is unfortunate, but maybe that's the reason why I'm so into toys now. I think about that now. But I do remember these mechanisms. This looks like definitely something that will release the payload. And there's switches on top. I'm missing a lot of pieces that extend out on the Y-wing. There are examples of this, of course. That empty slot on top is for a droid. If we look a little bit closer now, we can see this one is Lucasfilm Ltd. LFL 1983 Kenner Products, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is set 70510. So this is an awesome set. If you can get your hands on it, it's definitely available in varying prices. But let's move on. This is one of my personal favorites. This is the Snowspeeder. And I am very fond of this set. There's no doubt that The Empire Strikes Back and this Rebel Armored Snowspeeder is a classic. Now this thing is beat up and it has seen better days. I'm missing cannons and boosters and a whole bunch of other things. It's discolored, but I still do have a nice cockpit shield. I'm really liking that. Here's a little view of the interior. It's filthy in there. It needs a thorough cleaning. But this vehicle will get its day. It will be displayed someday. Maybe I will restore it. I think I might. It's worth it. It's a good looker. It even has pencil marks on it. Maybe I don't restore it at all. It's just beautiful in its old glory, isn't it? Anyway, we have a couple of stickers on the underside that have made it through the long storage process. This awesome mechanism for the landing gear allows you to pull a lever and it kicks out with a spring-loaded action. Now this thing has been opened so many times that you can see that the plastic has just disintegrated the other side there, so this thing opens a little far, but still glad that it still works. The spring-loaded mechanism works nicely. Very neat. So again, just an iconic starship. This is from Lucasfilm Ltd. LFL 1980 Kenner Products. This is set number 39610. By searching these things, you can find them on eBay. You can find history online. You can find pictures. You can find anything you need. There's so much content out there from people like us that just want to spread the knowledge of these awesome toys and to, you know, get the word out. I mean, these are awesome things. These are pieces of history, no matter which way you look at it. So let's move on to another piece of history that may not be so ancient, but it did find its way into this collection recently. And you can tell the action here with pushing down R2's head opens up the X-Wing fighter. So this is an iconic starship, is it not? This was featured in the original Star Wars. This toy has some amazing spray paint effect that makes it look real dirty, like it just landed in the Dagobah system, and basically I think that is probably what it was modeled after. This thing it looks like it's seen better days in general. I do not have a lot of the pieces, as you can tell. It's a little incomplete, but the landing gear is all intact. Of course, the action still works good. I believe on some of the originals it worked this way as well, and then you could lock it in and keep it open. But this one seems to not stay open. Anyway, by admiring this beauty, would you guess that this was an older set? Well, it's not that old. As we get a little closer, we will notice that this set is from 2004. Lucasfilm, Hasbro, China. So there you have it. This was a 2004 set that we just happened to run into and had to pick it up and throw it into the collection. It's just part of a little bit of history how these things have progressed. I'm not sure that it actually is much better than some of the original, to tell you the truth. I think they just are streamlining product and trying to pump it out there, of course. Alright, so this next one is awesome, of course. This is the iconic TIE Fighter with the ejecting solar panel wings. Now this is modeled after the original, of course. It's believed to be the similar size. It's very close. I remember having this when I was a kid. Now this is not the original though. This is the remake. This is under Tonka Corporation. The wings pop off and the cockpit opens up. There's tremendous detail. But this particular unit is thrashed. It has seen far better days. Now if you look closely, you can see that one of the wings looks and appears to be melted. And this is exactly what happened. This was sitting in a shipping container as a fire ripped through. And everything in the shipping container was okay. But since this stood close to the interior wall, I did sustain a little melting. But everything still functions as normal. The spring-loaded ejecting solar panel wings pop off. The cockpit is so cool. I am really a fan of this thing. It's been in my garage for quite some time, just sort of up on the shelf. It deserves a thorough cleaning. Of course, here's the cleaner underside, distributed by Tonka Corporation, made in China. As we look a little bit closer, we'll see 1995 Lucasfilm. All rights reserved, used with authorization. Pretty cool. This is a nice product. This is Star Wars The Power of the Force TIE Fighter. This is an amazing little set. If you happen to have it, let me know in the comments below. You know, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and stay tuned for more. I'm always going to come out with more content, and I'm really happy that everyone is on board. So just join this community. We'd really like it. Check this out. This is awesome. From Bespin, we're going to take a look at the Twin Pod. This is the Cloud Car. This is so cool. Do you remember when Luke was coming in from Dagobah because he sensed something wrong with Han and Leia? So he had to get out there as soon as he could. This is the iconic ship from Kenner Products. This is one of the originals. Okay, there are very little stickers, if any, that were on the outside. You can see just that one for the engine in the middle. This is a 2-pilot setup. I am missing one of the cockpit shields, unfortunately, but at least I have the other to just sort of activate and enjoy. Here you can see the underside. This is sort of the bird's landing, as I call it. Just looks like bird's legs coming out. And the action with this and how it comes out still works. I'm very happy. You push it in, it stays in. Pull it out, it stays out and supports the weight of the Cloud Car. So here you can see it. It's such a sleek vehicle when everything is all tucked in. And just, I'm a really big fan of this. It breaks the color boundaries of most of the Star Wars light bluish gray, hint hint. And this is Lucasfilm Ltd. 1980, Kenner Products, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is set 39860. Look it up, check it out on eBay. You can get your hands on one of these. You know, it's probably going to be beat up like this, but they're cool to have around. If you have a love for Cloud City and Bespin, this is your toy. That's the one. Okay, let's move on to another classic. The ultimate. This is Luke Skywalker's land speeder. There's just something about this vehicle. When I was so young, 5-6 years old, watching this thing speed across the desert floor, floating above the surface, this was definitely science fiction for me. And just having this as a toy, I remember it, and the details inside, the stickers, it's artwork coming to life. And they just don't make things like this anymore. There was obviously like a certain level that they could achieve when creating toys back in the day because of how they built things, because of the machinery. Now things are different, and in order to go back and try and create these vintage toys, they have to charge a lot of money. So there is a new Kenner line of products that is, you know, trying to bring back the vintage collection, but it is an expensive product. So in the future, I plan to review some of those newer lines. They are impressive. But let's take a close look at this original. This is one of the oldest I have. 1978, General Mills Fun Group Incorporated by its division Kenner Products. Okay, this is set 38020, and this is the land speeder vehicle. Action figures are sold separately. Alright, well this next one threw me off a little bit because I wasn't sure. I was trying to piece together things that were in this tote that was given to me, and I actually thought that this might have been an Ewok set, but it was not. This is from the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Kenner Products Dagobah action playset. So what you're looking at is likely Yoda's home. I believe it's modeled after his house or a cave that is on Dagobah or in the Dagobah system. You can play out all sorts of action scenes here because the floor moves. You can put Darth Vader, you know, popping out of the cave and surprising Luke. You can have Yoda cooking a little meal outside. What you're looking at here looks to be something that if you use the Force you can raise things off the ground. So this is what I received in the tote that was next to it, and I figured that this might have to do with Ewoks, because that looks like it's the Ewok hang glider that was used by one of those furry fellas in the Return of the Jedi. So this threw me off a little bit. I had to do a little bit of research though to find out what exactly this was, and yes, this is the Dagobah action playset. So there's one thing that's really cool about this playset is that sometimes the playsets themselves, when you have housings or caves and all those things, it makes it so fun. They know this. You can't just play with action figures and ships. You kind of need houses, bases, and other things like that. Shelters. So here again, here's that hang glider. I love it. But if we look a little bit closer on the back of what we're focusing on, Lucasfilm Ltd. This is 1981. This is CPG Corp. Okay, Kenner Products. And this is set 38820. So a pretty cool one, I gotta say. Wasn't quite sure what I had at first, but sometimes you gotta do research on some of this. That was the Dagobah action playset. I did not have that as a kid. Did you have that as a kid? Alright, well check this out. This is an amazing set. From The Empire Strikes Back, this is the Turret and Probot playset. So what we're missing here is we're missing the Probot. I just thought that was one of their probe droids. This turret though is very cool. It has like a ratcheting mechanism or some sort of clicker. So when you go back and forth, you can actually make out the clicking that it makes. It's very cool. And then if I did have the probe droid, then I would be able to simulate how that would have moved a little bit. This set is filthy. I've never seen dirtier snow. But this looks like a cool one. It does have like a little room that you can get in and I guess power or control the turret, as well as you can fit a guy in the turret. You would just have to slip his legs into that top hatch and he would be sitting down and he would be able to pilot that turret. So this is a really cool set. This is from Kenner Products, of course. This is an old one. So this goes back to the land of CPG Products and of course Kenner Products, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is set 38330 and this is from 1979. So a lot of these Kenner products were rushed to be released for the Christmas launch in 1979. There was a huge push to get as many of these toys to market, and it was a smart move. I mean, obviously this is a phenomenon. Star Wars is a generational phenomenon. I'm not sure what that small hut is. I haven't been able to quite identify that yet. But here we have the Tauntan. Now this is a great little guy here. He doesn't have the opening stomach, does he? Oh, he does. Yeah, I'm seeing the stomach hatch right there. You can open this thing up and simulate when Luke had to be stuffed into this guy in order to survive that cold winter. Now, these little tanks, I was not sure again where these were from either. I thought it had to do something with Hoth, but I was not sure what these were from. If you want to know what these are, these would be from the Return of the Jedi. This is the MLC-3 Mobile Laser Cannon. As you can tell, you can fit in your guy, pop the hatch down on him, his legs go forward, and they can drive these little tank-like laser cannons all around. So kind of cool. I thought it had something to do with Hoth. It does not, apparently, but a very cool vehicle nonetheless, and it is very old. So again, these are very old products. Let's take a closer look and take a look at the underside, and we will definitely see that this is Lucasfilm Ltd. 1981. Made in Hong Kong. This is set 40020. Again, made in Hong Kong. So there was a lot of opportunity going on back then. Was it made in Taiwan? Was it made in China? Was it made in Hong Kong or made in Mexico? They were definitely testing out the system. These were the early days of free trade. And so basically, we get on to our finale here, at least in my eyes. This was one of the largest toys that I was able to get my hands on as a kid. This is the most iconic, most recognizable set. I'm telling you, this is the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back AT-AT all-terrain armored transport. This is the most awesome vehicle that I've ever seen in any sci-fi action thriller. The mixing of mechanical, animal, and sci-fi laser cannons, I've never seen anything like it. This is the reason why we are all hooked for life. It was The Empire Strikes Back that just got us hook, line, and sinker. The action with this toy is awesome. If you go inside the toy, you can grab this mechanism that allows you to raise and lower the head as well as move it side to side. Now you can tell this toy is thrashed. You can go online and see the one that has all the cannons on the side of the head and the cockpit shield and everything that I am missing. Okay, but what I'm getting at here is that these things mean a lot to us. These are vintage toys in any condition. With this on my shelf, I have that special feeling inside that I haven't let go of my past, that it's still with me, that I can think back to when I was a kid and when I played Star Wars and I had a good time. Now I don't roleplay as much, but you know what? I sure like to put things up on the shelf when I can get it. This thing's been in my garage for a long time. It is disgusting. It needs a thorough cleaning. I'm gonna have to get some serious wipes onto this thing. But look at it. It is cool. How did it just discolor the way it did? Different plastic molds being used. Some things yellowed more than others. The detailing on the top is super cool. Let's take a look at the underside. That giant area where this thing would take batteries, and of course all the sound effects. Pretty much most of the toys I covered tonight have some kind of sound effects. It's just really cool how they innovated at the time and made sure that the kids had exactly what they wanted. There were lines going out the doors for all sorts of toys, and Star Wars always has that effect on people. You can see the ratcheting still works on this old toy. Pretty cool. I would say that, you know, you can pose this thing in almost any position. Is there a controversy about the name? Is it known as the Atat or is it known as the Atat? How do you pronounce it? Let me know in the comments below, of course. This is such an awesome toy. Hey, I appreciate that all of you were able to spend some time with me today. I really like doing this. This is 1981 Kenner Products, Lucasfilm, and this is set 45202. That is really hard to read. But the action, everything about this toy, super cool. This is a set of vintage Star Wars toys. There's nothing that this does more than just spark your love of childhood, of those times you had that were free to play. As long as you were able to play and get your time in before dinner or washing up or whatever it was that would pull you away from what you love to do most, which was imagine and create your own stories in your own mind as you're growing up. So these vehicles have been through a serious battle. They've gone through storage, they've gone through serious play. There's no doubt that just having these toys in this condition alone is a miracle in itself. I want to give a special thanks out to Tasty Ho Herp on Instagram for providing me these toys to think back from when I was younger, and I had most of these, and just to have this ability to make a video about the things I love. And as you can see, all these things would have allowed for hours and hours of playtime and Imagineering. And I am so happy to have had those times. We have to think about some people in this world that really just live different lives and don't have the ability to use their imaginations much because life is a struggle for them every day. So we are the fortunate ones that are able to look back on our childhoods, and we were fortunate enough to have parents that maybe bought us a few toys. I'm just happy to be an adult and a toy collector, and if I can spark any type of imagination in your mind, if I can help you start your own collection later in life, this is cool, okay? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I really like vintage Star Wars. I have some of the newer vintage collection by Kenner Products, some of the stuff that's been released within the last few years in my collection. I can't wait to show some of that off to you. The detail on some of the newer stuff is amazing, but again, like I said earlier, the price is there and you will pay for it. So look at all these amazing, iconic pieces of history. And remember guys, if you like this video, give me some thumbs up, give me some likes. Be sure to try and share this with people who you think might like Star Wars, who might like some of the content that I create on this channel. I like to be very diverse in the content I create. This is some very cool stuff. You can't really find it all in one place, but here it is. Always score the ad shot. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's more to come. Please subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.